Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is Sly, of course, the Sly guy behind Sly Guy, from NY, coming to you live. Well, this is recorded, of course, but I just wanted to, get some things off my chest, and I'm gonna start with something that I know a little bit about, which is, finances, and not gonna preach to you about how to spend your money at all. What I'm actually here to do is just really question some of the things that, you know, I've heard in my ear, for the last year or so. And it's really interesting because out of all these people, all these so-called experts and all these, I don't even know what to call them. I have yet to have one person that can explain to me in terms I can understand what the hell is Bitcoin all about. And not to rain on anybody's parade or anything, but I'm convinced that Bitcoin is really founded, funded, and ran by goddamn Keebler Elves. Because not one motherfucker can tell me this isn't fantasy. It's just pure fiction as far as I can tell. I mean, it's number one, it's not attached to any currency. It's not really like something you can read about and see how the markets are moving. And no, nobody even knows how the shit goes up and down. It's just pixie dust as far as people are concerned, and I'm supposed to put my money into it. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, honestly, I learned a long time ago. My pops told me, he might say some outlandish shit. My dad once told me he stopped a hurricane with his palm. But outside of that, 40 years, financial services, and he's telling me, when he tells me about investment things, I tend to listen. He says, son, I made a bad investment once. Came to him to talk about it. And he was like, well, look, this is where you messed up. You invested in something that you didn't fully understand. You didn't really have any responsibility behind it because you didn't know what was going on. And that's a bad move for anybody. I would never tell somebody take their hard-earned or hard-stolen money and invest it with somebody that A, is not qualified, or B, even worse, tells you what they're going to do with your money, but doesn't tell you how they're going to do it. You don't have any way of checking up on them and how they do that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't really make sense. So I look at Bitcoin almost like the same thing. First of all, it's like the Wild Wild West. It's not regulated. So there's no kind of there's no recourse at all. If you lose your money, you lose your shirt. I mean, Forex came out like that. If you know about that, a few years ago, that was the thing, and everybody was, oh, it's international currency, and it's 6 days a week, and blah blah blah. Now they got 7 days a week, and nobody knows how the hell this thing makes money. Furthermore, it's just told to me, oh, it loses a third of its value every year around, after Christmas. What? I'm looking at it like this is pure madness. Like a third of its value is supposed to come back, and I'm just supposed to, no, thank you. I will stay with my good old stocks, good old insurance, things that I know, tried and true. There's a Securities Exchange Commission behind it. I just don't understand what the hype about Bitcoin is. It's like anything else in this generation, this culture. Everybody does it, so I got to do it. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, I just don't. And the reason I say it's Keebler Elves because why, I'll give you an example. Before I get too tongue tied, I got recruited to be in to run sales for this organization out of Texas, and this is like a Bitcoin company. They don't really specialize in Bitcoin per se, but all the other altcoin currencies, whatever it is behind it. And he's telling me, oh, this is like the mutual fund of Bitcoin, which is a red flag initially for me because I know from my experience, you can't call something a mutual fund unless it's what? A mutual fucking fund. So, I'm listening to this guy. He sounds young, and I'm trying not to be too biased or prejudiced about that. But, just the way they did business and everything is he's telling me he wants to increase your net worth by at least 1% a day. And I'm like, interesting. So, where are you getting your sales? What's your CRM? How are you, kind of, getting people to invest in this? Because I'm supposed to basically come here and get people to invest their hard-earned money in something that I don't even freaking understand. And explain it to them like, oh, don't worry about it. Give us your money, and and of course I get a percentage of this Keebler money. I don't get it. And ultimately, they didn't provide me with a sales contract, nothing like that. So I was like, you know what? They like everything else, just bogus. And I watch people close to me, lose money and, this, that, and the third. Oh, no, it's going to come back. I don't have patience for it. So just look before you leap is my advice. Do your research and understand it's not to get on anybody that, is supposed to be doing their thing. I see a lot of social media popping off about Bitcoin, this and that and the third. Just don't believe the hype. Public Enemy made it a #1 song back in the day. It's a slop.